Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome, and please subscribe right now because the story we are covering today is one of those moments that happens in real time, in the middle of an already historic era for BTS, and lands with the specific weight of something that has been quietly building for a long time before it finally surfaces in a way the whole world can see. On July 9, 2026, Jimin changed his Instagram bio. One word. 7 letters. No explanation, no caption, no accompanying post. Just the word Lamron sitting in the bio field of one of the most followed accounts on Instagram, belonging to one of the most discussed artists in the world. And within minutes, not hours, minutes, ARMY had figured out what it meant. And when they reversed it, and when the understanding of what they were looking at spread across fan communities on every platform simultaneously, the reaction was exactly what you would expect from a community that has been waiting for this specific moment for a very long time. So let's talk about all of it. What Lamron is, what it means, what it connects to, and why this one small change to an Instagram bio managed to send the entire internet into a celebration that is still going as I am recording this video. Let's start with the most basic fact, because the elegance of it deserves to be appreciated on its own terms before we get into all the layers around it. Lamron is normal spelled backward. That is it. That is the entire decode. 7 letters, reversed, and suddenly a word that means nothing becomes a word that means everything, or more precisely, a word that points directly to one of the most anticipated pieces of content in BTS's current era. Normal. The 9th track on the Ararang album. A song produced by Ryan Tedder and Jungkook that entered the Billboard Hot 100 at number 41 in its first week of release. A song that, upon the release of the Ararang album, was immediately recognized by fans and critics alike as one of the most emotionally resonant tracks on a record full of emotionally resonant tracks. And a song that has been quietly building a case for its own MV since the earliest days of the Ararang era, through a series of hints and teases that the most attentive ARMY have been tracking and cataloging with the obsessive precision that characterizes how this fanbase engages with everything BTS puts into the world. On July 9, 2026, all 7 members of BTS and their official agency account updated their social media profiles across platforms to feature Lamron along with related headers and bios. The members also added the term to their Instagram bios. This was not one member making a spontaneous personal choice. This was a coordinated, simultaneous, cross-platform update involving all 7 members and the official BTS account, a logistical operation that requires planning, communication, and deliberate timing. In the world of BTS content drops and promotional strategies, this kind of synchronized multi-account update is the clearest possible signal that something significant is coming. It is the equivalent of a movie studio changing all of their social media headers to the title of an upcoming film on the same day. Except BTS did it with a single reversed word that required fans to solve a puzzle before the meaning became clear. And that puzzle-solving element, the fact that the announcement was coded, that it demanded active engagement rather than passive reception, is central to why the reaction was so immediate and so intense. The fan communities on X, TikTok, and Instagram detected the bio change within minutes of it going live. Screenshots circulated faster than most breaking news stories spread. The initial posts were simple and direct. Jimin's bio says Lamron. And then, almost immediately, the next wave of posts, Lamron is normal backwards. And then the third wave, the emotional wave, the one that really set social media on fire, everything that the word normal means in the context of BTS's current era, everything that a music video for that song would represent, everything that the teaser image that accompanied the bio change, a film strip-style collage in teal tones showing BTS members in various settings, mirrored reflections, ornate interiors, outdoor scenes, with a central panel displaying the word Lamron accompanied by a swan motif suggested about the visual direction of what was coming. Let's talk about the song itself, because to understand why the Lamron announcement hit with such force, you need to understand what normal means to ARMY and what it has meant since the day Ararang dropped. The Ararang album was released as BTS's 5th studio album, marking the group's return to music as a complete 7-member unit after the years of mandatory military service that kept them apart and that kept the world waiting with a patience born of genuine love and genuine faith. The album contains 14 tracks, and all 14 of them entered the Spotify Global Daily Chart upon release, a testament to the depth of investment that ARMY brought to the comeback, and to the quality of the music that BTS delivered in response to that investment. On Spotify Global, all 14 tracks from Ararang occupied the top 14 positions upon release. That is an achievement with essentially no precedent in the history of streaming-era music, and it tells you something important about the scale of the audience that was waiting for this record. Normal, the 9th track, is the song that has generated the most consistent conversation about a music video since the album dropped. Part of that is the production. Ryan Tedder, the American songwriter and producer whose credits include some of the most successful records of the past 2 decades, brought something to this track that sits distinctly within the Ararang album while also connecting to a broader global pop sensibility that gives the song a particular kind of accessibility. Fans who heard the album for the first time described Normal as the track that made them stop and restart from the beginning, the one that felt like it was about something specifically personal and simultaneously universal. And among all the tracks on Ararang, it was the one where the absence of a music video felt most conspicuous, where the song seemed to be waiting for a visual companion that would unlock something additional in what it was already doing on its own. The teaser that accompanied the Lamron bio change gave the clearest indication yet of what that visual companion is going to look like. The official BTS Instagram account posted a film strip-style collage in teal tones. Individual frames show various scenes with BTS members in different settings, mirrored reflections, ornate interiors, outdoor areas, and close-up shots. A central panel displays the word Lamron accompanied by a swan motif. The film reel aesthetic connects immediately to a specific tradition within BTS's visual history, the cinematic, narrative-driven music videos that defined their earlier eras, the ones that told stories across multiple releases and built a connected universe of imagery and meaning that rewarded close attention and repeated viewing. The Save Me video. The Spring Day video. The run of interconnected visuals from the HYYH era that became one of the most analyzed and celebrated bodies of music video work in the history of K-pop. Fans recognized the reference immediately. The film strip format, the teal tones, the sense of narrative and fragmentation in mirroring, this is BTS returning to a visual language that they helped define, applying it to a song that, in its lyrical and emotional content, seems designed to connect the present moment of their career back to where they began. Fan reactions to the tease included multiple references to the Save Me era specifically. Comments circulated across platforms expressing excitement that the upcoming video might explore BTS life beyond fame, the interior experience of being who they are, the personal and human dimension of a career that has reached a scale almost beyond comprehension. We will see something like the Save Me MV, we will see BTS life beyond fame. That was one of the most widely shared fan reactions, and it captures something important about what Normal, as a song, seems to be offering. The title itself is the theme. Normal. The desire for it, the question of whether it is possible, the way that the pursuit of normalcy looks different from the inside of an extraordinary life than it does from the outside. For 7 people who have spent the better part of a decade being among the most recognized and most followed human beings on the planet, the question of what normal means and whether the word itself can be stretched to hold what they actually experience is not an abstract creative concept. It is something real. The Lamron teaser also connects to an earlier hint that the most attentive ARMY had already catalogued months before the bio change. The song was teased in a viewfinder-style reel on the 613 limited edition picture disc vinyl, which was released on June 12, 2026, as part of BTS's 13th anniversary celebrations. The 613 vinyl, named for the date of BTS's debut, June 13th, is a collector's item that ARMY knows to examine closely for embedded clues and hidden references. And inside that vinyl, in a viewfinder-style reel format, Normal had already appeared as a tease. The Lamron bio change and teaser image are therefore not a sudden announcement emerging from nowhere. They are the latest step in a sequence of deliberate, layered hints that BTS and their team have been dropping for months, accessible to ARMY who knew where to look and building toward this moment of more open, more unmistakable signal. This is something BTS does better than almost any other act in contemporary music, the construction of anticipation through layered, interconnected communications that reward close attention and create a sense of active participation in the unfolding of whatever is coming. The Lamron bio change is not just a teaser for a music video. It is an invitation to engage, to decode, to share the moment of understanding with the rest of the community. The fact that it required fans to reverse the letters before the meaning became clear means that the first response to the announcement was not passive reception but active discovery. ARMY did not simply receive the news that a Normal MV was coming. They figured it out. they solved the puzzle. And that act of solving, of being the community that looks and thinks and connects the dots, is part of what makes the moment feel shared and significant rather than simply received from above. Now let's place the Lamron announcement in the broader context of everything that is happening in July 2026 for BTS, because the timing of this particular tease is extraordinary and the surrounding circumstances add layers of meaning to it that go beyond the music video itself. On July 11th and 12th, BTS performed at the Allianz Arena in Munich, Germany, as part of the European leg of the Ararang World Tour. Munich is a city with its own deep musical history, and Allianz Arena is one of the most recognizable stadiums in the world, home to Bayern Munich, famous for its distinctive illuminated exterior that can shift colors depending on the event it is hosting. For BTS to perform there as part of a world tour that has already generated historic moments in Madrid, Brussels, and London is another milestone in a tour that has been redefining what K-pop can achieve on the global stage. And then, just over a week after Munich, comes what may be the single most significant performance of BTS's career since their Wembley Stadium headlines in 2019. BTS will co-headline the FIFA World Cup 2026 final halftime show on Sunday, July 19, 2026, at New York, New Jersey Stadium. The performance is scheduled for 11 minutes, and the lineup alongside BTS includes Shakira, Madonna, and Justin Bieber. The event supports the FIFA Global Citizen Education Fund. Let that land properly. The FIFA World Cup final halftime show. The single most watched sporting event on the planet, with an audience that routinely reaches over 1 billion people. BTS sharing the stage with Shakira, one of the most celebrated live performers in the history of Latin music. Madonna, one of the most iconic figures in the entire history of popular music, someone whose career has spanned decades and whose cultural impact is genuinely global in the way that very few artists have ever achieved. Justin Bieber, one of the most commercially successful artists of the past 15 years, someone with a level of mainstream American recognition that very few acts from any genre can match. And BTS. On that stage. For 11 minutes. In front of 1 billion people. The decision to release the Lamron teaser in the days leading up to this sequence of events, Munich, then the FIFA World Cup final halftime show, is not accidental. The Lamron announcement ensures that in the days before BTS performs for the largest audience in the history of their career, there is already a wave of new BTS content conversations circulating across social media. People who were not already following the Ararang World Tour closely are encountering BTS-related content at a moment when the group is about to be impossible to miss. And among the fans who are deeply invested, the Lamron teaser gives them something specific and exciting to carry into those performances, a sense that even as the group is delivering the biggest live moments of their comeback, something more is being built behind the scenes. The British Museum context adds yet another dimension to what is happening during this period. In connection with the London stop of the Ararang World Tour, BTS partnered with the British Museum for the Korea Gallery Trail program, which ran from July 6 to July 23, 2026, in the Korea Foundation Gallery, Room 67. The program formed part of the City Ararang London project and connected to the themes from the Ararang album. BTS, the same group whose new music video teaser features a swan motif and film strip imagery that fans are reading as a return to introspective, narrative-driven visual storytelling, also partnered with one of the most significant cultural institutions in the world to create an educational program connecting their music to Korean cultural heritage. These are not separate stories. They are all part of the same story about what BTS is and what they are doing in this era of their career. The word normal, written backward. A film strip collage in teal. A swan. And behind all of it, the same group of 7 people who began their career more than 13 years ago, who built something that nobody predicted and nobody could fully explain, who went through years of separation and years of waiting and years of solo work that kept them present and productive even as the group itself was paused, and who have now returned together to a world that has been quietly reorganizing itself around their absence in anticipation of their return. The Lamron announcement is a small thing in isolation. A bio change. A word. A puzzle with an easy answer once you think to try reversing it. But in the context of everything that surrounds it, everything that is built toward it, everything that it points toward, it is a significant signal. It says that the work of this era is not finished. It says that what ARMY has been given in Ararang, as extraordinary as that album has been, is not the complete picture. It says that Normal, a song about wanting to be something that their lives have made nearly impossible, written and recorded and released into a world that will not let them be anything close to it, has a visual story to tell that has not yet been told. And it says that Jimin, whose Instagram bio now reads Lamron, whose long blonde hair has generated a new nickname in every city of this tour, whose presence at a concert in London turned a skeptical Guardian journalist into a fan, who stopped a show in Brussels to make sure one person in a crowd of 66,000 got medical attention, who wore a Charles Jeffrey Loverboy hat and sold out the brand before ARMY could even post about it, is exactly where he has always been. At the center of a story that keeps finding new ways to surprise people who thought they already understood what they were watching. When the Normal MV finally drops, whenever that is, in whatever form it takes, it will arrive into a moment that has been building across months of tour stops and fan moments and media recognition and cultural crossover. It will arrive for an ARMY that has been paying attention, that has done the decoding, that has watched the film strip teaser and thought about swan motifs and mirrors and what it means to tell a story about normalcy from inside a life that is anything but. And it will arrive for the millions of people around the world who are just now, in the middle of a historic world tour and on the eve of a FIFA World Cup final halftime show performance seen by 1 billion people, beginning to understand what ARMY has known for years, that BTS are not just a music group, and Jimin is not just a performer, and whatever is coming next is going to be worth waiting for. Lamron. Reverse it. And get ready. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you found it valuable, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel for more content covering Jimin, BTS, and every development in this extraordinary era. Drop a comment below telling me, what is your prediction for the Normal MV? What do you think the film strip teaser and the swan motif are pointing toward? I want to read every single theory. And I will see you in the next one.